Hi everybody, welcome to week 1 of INF210 collections. My name's Jane, as you will have seen on a couple of other things, including my face staring out at you as we speak twice. So I'm going to be taking you through this subject for this semester, and I'm really looking forward to getting started on it. So this is week 1. I wanted to talk to you about what you can be doing this week. And each week I'll do this, I'll send you a little video like this where I'll talk about what it is you need to be doing and show you a couple of things and just make sure you're on track and check in with you all. So this week, it's actually pretty straightforward this week. There's not a lot to do, but I've got an idea about what you could be doing as well. So let's just go and have a quick look. So if you haven't done it already, jump into the subject outline and have a look through it. Make sure you've got your head around what we're doing when. Inside that subject outline is a schedule which tells you what we're doing each week, and also when your assignments are due. So that's certainly worth having a look at, just to throw them into your diary, just to make sure that you know they're coming up and to help you plan. I reckon working online like you are doing is really hard and it can be quite isolating, and you have to be really motivated to keep it all together. So I think one of the things that works really well for me if I'm learning online or working online is to be super organised and to have all my dates that are things coming up, all my deadlines to be in my calendar and staring at me constantly. And I even do other things like pulling a sticky note off my screen. I have little notes to myself on my screen just to remind me of things that I need to know all the time. So, pardon me. I think the biggest trick I can offer you is to be organised. And so the first step in being organised is go into that schedule, which sits under the subject outline, and have a look at what's due when. So once you've got yourself sorted in terms of what is happening at what time, then you can start looking at what we're doing this week. So let's have a look at the other thing I should say before we get into this week's stuff is, if you haven't done so already, and thank you for those of you who have introduced yourselves on the discussion list, jump in there, say hi, see who else is here, and tell us a little bit about yourself so we know who you are. And it's been great fun talking to you all, the people who have done that so far, getting in there and seeing who's around and what you're up to, where you are. I'm actually building a Google map of where everybody is. In fact, I wonder if I can show you that. Just hang on a second, I'll see if I can show you. Yeah, this is the map I'm building of where everybody is. So every time someone introduces themselves as being in this subject or any of the subjects I'm teaching, so this isn't just collections, this is all the 5 subjects that I'm teaching, I pop you into a little Google map and I put a dot where everyone is, so which is really interesting to see where everybody is. And just when I was thinking, everyone's on the east coast of Australia apart from this person here in Adelaide, then lo and behold, look what happened. It's going to take you across the world. This is the cheapest trip you'll ever have across the world. And, I've lost you. No, I haven't. You keep going. Check this out. Look at that. Prince Edward Island. Welcome, Crystal. You are in Prince Edward Island, which of course is where Anne of Green Gables was set. Who hasn't read Anne of Green Gables? If you haven't, I suggest you get in there and do it now. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to what we should be doing. Okay, no more Prince Edward Island. Now, this week's content, everything you need to learn for each week, you'll find sitting here under Learning Modules. Learning Modules is just the name we give to the folders where we put all the stuff we want you to read and work on. So if you click on Learning Modules, you will see that this subject is broken up into 3 main chunks, and we call them blocks. Block 1 is obviously where we start, block 3 is where we end, block 2 is what we do in the middle. Now, I'm still writing some of the content for this subject in conjunction with Jessie Lim, and we will be progressively releasing content as we get it ready for you. At the moment, the first 3 modules are ready, so you can get stuck into it straight away, and we'll be adding the other ones in as we write them. So your job this week, if we look at the schedule, go to the subject outline, go to the schedule. This week, 4th of March, welcome, orientation and introductions, and we've got an online class on Thursday night, which I'll talk about in a minute. So that's what you need to be doing this week. Let's go and have a look at that in the content. Learning modules. So this is all you're going to do this week. Welcome to collections. So it's something here for you to read, some thoughts about the best way to interact with each other, some little bits of advice there about finding information. This is sort of particularly useful for people who haven't studied for a while, or maybe just haven't studied at a sort of, like a master's, not a master's level, but at a tertiary level is the word I'm trying to find. So this is just to help remind you of how you can study at this level. There's some links through to the study skills page, which is really useful for you if you're feeling a bit rusty or unsure about your study skills. These guys are really, really good to get in touch with. Just, go and have a look around, and if you want to get in touch with them, then that's up to you. And the activity for the week is to introduce yourself to the class. So, not a lot to do. However, what I suggest you do is to jump ahead a little bit if you have time. So, if I go back to the learning modules and start with block 1, so this is actually next week's content, module 1, water collection. So our subject outline has us doing this in week 2 of the semester, but it's a really, really big module. So this first one, water collections, and there's a whole lot of stuff in there, and it's probably the biggest module in the whole semester. So if you do have time to jump ahead, you might want to split that module between 2 weeks. So this week, in the first week, and then finish it off next week, which is the week that is really dedicated to that module. If you don't have time, then that's absolutely fine. I'm sure you'll catch up and get to it later. The work we do in these modules often relates really closely to content within the textbook that we're suggesting you get your hands on. You don't have to buy it. There is an electronic copy in the library, and we've got an unlimited access license to it, which just means that as many people can access it, that many people can see it. So sometimes when libraries buy ebooks, they have like a restricted license, and only 2 people can use it at once. We have an unlimited license to this book because it is important that all of you can access it at once if you want to. So I think the other thing to do for this week is to jump into chapter 1 of the textbook. Just make sure you can get access to it. If you can't, contact the library and they'll sort you out. It'll just be something to do with your student record. This is the electronic book here, so it's really easy to get into. If you haven't had much of a play with ebooks before, now's a really good time to have a look around this particular book. There's all sorts of things you can do. You can click on each chapter heading and it jumps you straight into that page. You can also download individual chapters if you wanted to do that and read it on the train or whatever. So that's another useful thing you can do as well. And you can also do a search within it. So you can look for a keyword. So say you were interested in the ethics of collecting, you could do a search for ethics. In fact, let's do it and see what we get. I haven't tried this before. Okay, so that's cool. So it's saying I found the word ethics 55 times, and you will find those 55 references to ethics within each of these chapters, and 44 of them are in this particular chapter. 1 is in that chapter, 2 is in that chapter, and it turns up 5 times in the index. So that's just another way of playing with the content inside this ebook. And you can also take notes for yourself, whatever works for you. So that's something you could do this week too, is just to make sure you can get into that textbook and that you can move yourself around it. All right, back to our page. So I reckon that'll probably do for this week. So the things to do are read the introduction module, make a start on module 1 if you have a chance, make sure you've introduced yourself on the discussion list, make sure you can get access to the textbook and have a bit of a play around and get used to moving through. Ooh, sorry, I banged my microphone. Make sure you can move through the content of the textbook easily, and have a look at the schedule and make sure you've thrown into your calendar, your diary, when we're meeting online. Oh, and I must talk to you about that too, and when your assignments are due. But back to when we're meeting online, In the schedule, you will have seen that there are 3 online meetings, and these are meetings where you guys can come into like a virtual meeting room, and I'll be there and I'll have some slides to show you, and I'll be talking, and you get a chance to ask questions, and we can chat together. I can turn your microphone on so you can talk to me, talk to each other, or I can turn it off and we can just chat, or whatever works for us. And if you can't make it at the time that it is, which I think the first one is Thursday at 7 o'clock this week 1, if you can't make it, it's fine, because I will record it and then I'll put the link up to the recording so you can catch up with what happened online. I reckon that might be enough for you to listen to me talking at the moment. You're going to be seeing an awful lot of me, so I will sign off now, and I wish you all the best for this week. Please get in touch if you have any questions you have. Don't freak out about the assignments. When you read the assignments, you'll probably think, I have no idea how to do that, which is absolutely fine, because I don't expect you to have any idea how to do that at all. But I will be making videos about each of the assignments just to help you with them, and then once you've watched those videos, then start the questions coming and I'll make sure that I answer everything. I reckon that's it. I will see you next week. Let me know what you need and I will give it to you. See you guys. Bye.